studio is Matthew Bryza. He is a former U.S. ambassador to Azerbaijan and was the White House Director for European and European Affairs on the National Security Council. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on the program.
Pleasure.
Now, we just said what Trump, how he expressed, sorry, it's been a long day, expressed his support for Erdogan and Turkey's fight in Idlib. What kind of support can we expect to come out of the U.S.?
Yeah, President Trump for months has been supportive of President Erdogan and Turkey in general. And in the last couple of weeks, so has the State Department. And Secretary of State Pompeo has said some supportive things. We're on Turkey's side against Russia and Assad regime in Idlib. But the U.S. Defense Department has been resisting cooperating with Turkey. So the first thing President Trump can do is end this difference of opinion between the State Department and the Defense Department and make it clear that the U.S. stands with Turkey across the board. The more dramatic thing would be, of course, if the U.S. agreed to what Defense Minister Akar suggested last week, that maybe the U.S. could provide Patriot missiles, air defense missiles. That would be a dramatic change in a positive direction.
How do you think, if they do offer the support, how do you think that will change the relationship between the U.S. and Turkey?
Well, it depends. Okay, if the U.S. were to offer the Patriot systems, I think what would also have to happen is that Turkey would agree, okay, for now, we're not going to turn on the Russian S-400 system. And were that to be the outcome, I think you'd see a full reversal in U.S.-Turkey relations. You would see the two countries working together as closely as possible in northern Syria. You'd see this quest to bring the trade relationship up to $100 billion. I think they'd work very hard on that. And I think so you'd see a strong improvement in U.S.-Turkey relations and a corresponding sort of cooling off of Turkey-Russia relations.
Mm-hmm. Now, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham has called for a no-fly zone, and Turkey has expressed that they would like for a no-fly zone to take place as well. How realistic is it that that will happen?
Well, that's a dramatic call. And Senator Graham has been on both sides of the U.S.-Turkey relations. He's been a quiet mediator behind the scenes. He's been a vocal critic of Turkey for buying S-400. So if there was this decision by Turkey not to turn on the S-400s, and if the U.S. provided the Patriot missiles, then there would be a way to protect the no-fly zone from Syrian and Russian aircraft, and then as well there'd be a way to protect the civilians. And by the way, I should add that this is all coming at a crucial moment for the world. The coronavirus is the #1 issue we know in the whole world. The movement of maybe 1 million more refugees from northern Syria into Europe, that's really getting people's attention. And this really is the most serious humanitarian crisis in the world today, the Syrian refugees. So it's a moment where there's moral authority on Turkey's side to protect these civilians. The no-fly zone could do it. It will be difficult to achieve it. And for that to happen, there would have to be also a willingness by the United States to maybe confront Russia in northern Syria. So big political questions need to be answered.
As you said there, it's a huge humanitarian crisis taking place at this stage, and more people are moving towards Turkey. But now Turkey isn't stopping these refugees from exiting their borders into the into Europe.
Yeah.
How do you think the European Union is going to react to this latest move?
I think some in the European Union will initially be angry, but I think in general the European Union is going to realize, oh my God, we have got to help Turkey now. We've got to go beyond the $6 billion that we had promised. We need to do something more, maybe invest in the rehabilitation and reconstruction of northern Syria when this is all over, because it's obvious. Turkey has done everything it can do. 3.7 million refugees in Turkey, another million, God forbid, on the border. I think the Europeans know Turkey is at the breaking point and they have to do more to support Turkey.
Well, Matthew, we're expecting NATO to hold a meeting that Turkey requested in about 2 hours or so. What do you think the outcome of that meeting will be?
Yeah, if that's under so-called Article 4 of the North Atlantic Treaty, that would be only, I guess, like the 5th time that's ever happened in the history of NATO. So this is a big meeting. My guess the outcome would be that NATO alliance is going to say we stand behind Turkey 100%. We condemn Russia for supporting, and we condemn Assad's regime for murdering these civilians and driving the refugees toward the Turkish border. They'll say something along the lines that we have to do something about the refugee crisis without saying what it is. And then they'll probably say we will specify further security measures as the situation unfolds.
But are they going to take any concrete measures? That's what it all comes down to. We always hear them condemn these sorts of attacks. But is anything going to change?
Well, if Patriot systems, and by the way, they don't just have to be U.S. Patriot air defense systems. The Dutch and the Italians have had systems in Turkey, protecting Turkey. So NATO can help on the security side, but I think the key is going to be the European Union. They have got to decide they have their own vested interest in helping Turkey help themselves, which is going to mean more money, but not only, it's going to mean political support for Turkey as well, and maybe fewer sanctions in the Eastern Mediterranean and elsewhere.
All right, Matthew, we'll leave it there for now. Thank you so much for that analysis.
Thank you.